Hey guys.
Hi guys, welcome to another video. This is part 2 of our delivery story for Kai Kai's birth. And the reason why we're doing a sit down is because we didn't capture any videos, so it's a bunch of pictures that we'll be putting together.
Yeah.
And we want to be able to look back in this video and remember like some of the things that happened and some of the information. So that's why we're going to have a talk through of everything. So first off, I gave birth on June 8th. It's a Tuesday. And it was via C-section. And my C-section was scheduled exactly on my 39-week mark. If you guys saw the first video, the beginning of it, you'll see that we went to the hospital a few days before my my C-section date because I was feeling a lot of pain, and it turns out it was because I was 50% effaced, but I wasn't in active labor yet. But I think on the day of my C-section, that morning when I was in the pre-op room,
that's when you started to feel.
Yeah. So my contractions were more consistent. It was like within every two minutes. And then the nurses actually asked me if I wanted to try to do a VBAC or were we going to pursue the C-section. And for me, of course, I wanted to pursue the C-section because with Alea, I went through active labor and for about almost 24 hours.
Like 26 hours?
Yeah.
I think it was beyond 24 hours.
Only to get have an emergency C-section at the end. So I was really tired and I didn't want to repeat that. That's why I wanted to schedule my C-section. So I gave birth and we had Kai Kai with us that first day. But the following day, right after I had a shower, I was required to take a shower. So after I had a shower, I came out, I changed and everything. And then, actually a few hours before my shower, Kai Kai was taken to
it's like one of their it's like a special room that they have to monitor the baby separately from us. And so when they took Kai Kai, they're like, okay, the doctor just wants us to monitor, so hopefully by the end of the night he can come back and stay with you guys again. Next thing you know, once she was done getting settled back,
I just got dressed and everything, the nurse came and said that they were going to admit him to the NICU. I'm getting emotional because we didn't expect that. Why? Because granted, Alea had transient tachypnea as well, and Kai Kai's diagnosis was also transient tachypnea. But with Alea, it was kind of more expected because I went through active labor and then she was in distress. She had meconium stain, so we kind of knew it was coming. She needed observation, and so we totally understood that after I gave birth that they would have to cross their I's and T's and make sure there's no infection, things like that. But with Kai Kai, because I felt like it was more of a controlled setting.
I mean, the whole situation was pretty smooth from the beginning.
And I mean, my C-section was scheduled. He came out at the right time. There were no complications when he came out. The first 24 hours he was with us in the room. So I mean, it was all good. But then all of a sudden, I guess his breathing was
It was too fast for what it should have been. It should have slowed down within the first 24 hours, but he was breathing really fast, and also his color and in terms of color and feeding
for jaundice,
there you go, that one took a while to go. So that was also one of the reasons as to why they're thinking it's all related to the transient tachypnea and how that gave them the reason to bring him to the NICU.
Yeah, so granted transient tachypnea, I keep like, anyway, it means that it's temporary, right? Yeah. So it's a temporary condition, and they're hoping for it to go and just subside, and they just put the babies under observation and things like that. But I think what was hard for us was that everything happened so fast.
Very fast, yeah.
And there was like no preparation prior. I don't want to cry, but you know, like the feeling of like, there's nothing more painful than to see your own baby in pain, and it's like you can't do anything about it. You feel a little helpless, but we knew that like the doctors were awesome and they were doing great. Right. Also, I think it was overwhelming because with Alea, she was admitted to a NICU in the hospital, where there was like only about 10 to 12 beds for babies in their NICU, and it wasn't like as intimidating. Yeah. But with Kai in the hospital where I gave birth, they specialized in newborns and mothers and giving births.
They literally had a whole floor, just one straight floor of a NICU in different stages of NICU as well.
Yeah, I mean, like they asked us if we wanted to come, but obviously for us, since everything was happening so quickly, of course we wanted to see where he was going to be and all of that. So when they asked us if they wanted us to come with them to the NICU, of course we went. And then there were 3 nurses on him, like admitting him right away, trying to get an IV, and it was really hard to like see because it was just,
it's a whole situation in there. Like while you're trying to focus on your child, you hear other monitors, other babies, other family, parents,
and other doctors. It was like full. It's and then also like the nurses were saying like they didn't expect him because they didn't get like a call right away, and then there have just been a lot of admissions that night. So so it was like overwhelming for us in that sense, and it was scary because even though he was diagnosed transient tachypnea, it felt like his condition was a little harder and more intense. I mean, he didn't look as good. Like he wasn't as responsive as Alea was when she was in the NICU. I think another thing was like he wasn't feeding well, and that's why you'll see in the pictures there was an NG tube
placed because he was breathing too hard. They were worried that it would affect his feeding, which is also going to affect his jaundice. Yeah. So the only way that they can keep him from aspirating is to, obviously put the NG tube so that it's directly to his stomach, so that he can, practice his breathing and control the speed of his breathing as well.
Yeah. So aside from being admitted over there, obviously Alea was not with us, so that was also hard for me because I just felt like I couldn't be there for either of my babies. So I don't keep crying, but
it's okay.
Yeah, just seeing your baby getting picked and poked and pricked and poked, because they were getting labs from him, so lab works and all of that every few hours, like I think 4.
If you saw Kai's heels, both his heels had just so many like cuts from blood draws, and it's just poor little guy, man.
Yeah, and even if you were to say it's transient and it's not,
it's not a joke. Like when you see your kid there, it's just like, you get so worried, especially as the parent, and you're just like, I really hope he comes out of this strong. My child comes out of this strong and healthy.
Yeah, like no matter how you say that it's temporary, it's still taken seriously because there are many factors that could happen, and there are other babies that have had longer like
NICU
transitions,
stays,
and
yeah.
NICU stays because of
Yeah.
the condition, and
each each baby has their own journey into the world, and it's like
yeah,
if the nurses didn't take and the doctors didn't take seriously his condition at first,
we wouldn't know where we'd be,
yeah,
like, or what would have happened. But we're just so grateful that we're now in, at the end of this, and but at the moment it was just so scary. That's why we really want to remember and be able to look back in this video and like show this to our kids, that what they've gone through since birth wasn't easy for them, and that they are strong. They're strong babies.
Very strong babies. I mean, both. I remember you'll see in one of the pictures, Kai had his hand wrapped with the IV and everything. I remember Alea had that, and it's like, I'm getting emotional too, but it's traumatizing to see that both your kids had to go through that. It's not a joke. Like, seeing them sit, in a room that's not yours, and it's like,
like
you have to get out of your room to go see your kid when normally you'd want them to be right beside you.
Yeah, like you hear other babies on the floor, and it felt lonely in our room because we didn't have a baby next to us.
Yeah.
And I knew, like, I had to heal because I had a C-section, but obviously, like, nonetheless, it was still so hard to not have them in mind, and I knew I had to focus on healing in order for me to be strong for my kids or be there for them too. So I knew I had to recover as fast as I could so that I could be there for them as fast as I could. Yeah, so Kai was in the NICU since Wednesday night.
Yeah.
And that Friday morning or Thursday night, I had a fever, and Friday morning was the earliest day that the doctor said I could get discharged. But since I had a fever Thursday night, they were like, you could stay another night. I mean, we can monitor you, and we would highly suggest that you stay another night. But because Alea wasn't with us, I felt like I needed to see her.
Yeah. And
if there's that chance of me going to see her, I would rather go see her. So I decided to get discharged, even though Kai wasn't coming home with us.
Honestly, that was a pretty hard thing to go through, but in that moment, like, we kind of had to push those feelings aside for a little bit because
we knew, like, it was best for him to stay.
Yes, exactly.
They needed more labs to show if he was cleared from any infection. But we knew Alea has been asking for us. Yeah. And even for me, I had missed her so much. I mean, since Tuesday up to Friday, I wasn't able to see her. Only Francis was. So sorry. So Kai woke up, so Francis is getting him. So yeah, I was discharged. And then we went home. We went to see Alea, and we were so happy to see her. I think it really helped to see her, because we were able to get one night with her home without Kai just yet. Although we missed him a lot, and she asked about my belly and everything, and she was like, "Where did your belly go?" But the hospital, good thing that they had, like, webcams on the babies, and then we're able to access them online. So we were able to see Kai through the internet. But whenever the nurses are doing something, or like checking on him or feeding him, we can't see him from the monitor. They have to turn it away. Yeah, they turn away the webcam. So But otherwise, like, we kept it on our phone at all time and just like peeking if he's awake or how he's doing. By Friday, they had taken out the NG tube in the morning, so he didn't have the feeding tube anymore that morning. And then we kept on bugging the nurses and the doctors if he was going to get discharged.
We kept saying like, oh, is it time now? Will it come
like,
now? What's the news?
Did you get any update on the labs, or what were the results, things like that. And luckily by Saturday morning I got a call at around 11 saying that we just got the results. His jaundice has what do you call that? The jaundice level has gone down.
Yeah, gone down significantly, and their lab test that they're doing to see if any infection would came out negative.
Yeah.
So that for them gave them the thumbs up
to go home.
Mm-hmm.
So we went and picked them up like after lunch.
I think we went there like a little bit before lunch because I think they had to get him ready still.
Friday.
Then they gave him a bath. They gave him one last bath. Saturday morning, yeah. Before we brought him home.
Yeah, so we were able to bring him home on Saturday, June 10, right? Was that? No, June 10.
The 12th.
June 12.
June 12.
June 12. Right at early in the afternoon.
Yeah, early afternoon. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And so, this is our little munchkin right here.
It's hard to see him, but he's sleeping. He's a big boy.
Look at this. It's so long.
So I just want to say, like, we're so blessed with how everything had gone. We knew that God was watching over us, and we knew that everyone's prayers, when we asked for prayers on Facebook, I felt like that really helped improve his condition. Because I asked for prayers. I think I posted something like around Thursday night, and then by Friday afternoon, when we were at home, we got good news that things were getting better. And then by Saturday, he got discharged. They were expecting for him to get discharged originally on Sunday
morning,
but we kept on bugging.
And they delivered, and they said, yep, he's good to go.
So we praise God for
Amen.
guiding us through this whole journey, and for him to be healthy now, and for us to be complete here at home. Elia's already sleeping. Just so you guys know, like, we're recording in the middle of the night because there's just no time where like there's peace and quiet.
We tried earlier this afternoon, and
we hope you guys enjoyed this video, and also please continue to pray for our family as we continue to face through more and more life challenges and adventures. And we'll see you guys in our next one.
Next one will be when we bring him home, and
when he meets
Elia
meets
him for the first time. That'll be part 3.
Yeah.
Look out for that, guys.
Bye, guys.